Hi, everyone. Thanks to the Unruly team for setting this up and to Panel 3 for sharing their airtime with us. So I'm an investor at BoxGroup. We're a pre-seed and seed-focused fund based here in New York, have been around for 14 years, investing really broadly across all parts of software and technology. We're collaborative investors in a generalist fund, so we invest flexible checks alongside pretty much everyone in early rounds. And we're lucky enough to have invested in a number of companies that I think touch and embody the thesis of the decentralization of the physical world, whether or not we had elegantly stated and published that thesis, as Stefano and Francesco did. And so wanted to highlight a few of those and talk about some of the learnings from this morning. Why does decentralization make sense? For our investment view and lens, it has to be coupled with a significant technological step forward. So that's typically software. In some cases, that's a new catalyst or biological compound, and we can get into that. But the technological why, and coupled with decentralization, how does this affect the business model or business outcome in a particular category? So just to start quickly with energy, which is a space that we've covered a lot today, we're investors in a company called David Energy, which is a software layer enabling distributed energy resources and sort of behind the meter two-way power. The idea here is using software to help customers, nodes on the energy grid, decide when to charge or discharge, to use energy or conserve energy based on energy pricing. And it's pushed that power out to all end users of energy, not just the largest, not just the most knowledgeable, but truly anyone from a multifamily building or a unit of a gym to those larger customers. And I think the lesson there is decentralization and software giving power to the demand side of the market, whereas that power used to only be consolidated in the supply side. And so that's a really exciting vector and theory around decentralization. The second is a company called General Galactic, and some of you who are here in the morning might have met the CEO, Halen, who also joined us. They're fueling the future, converting waste CO2 to a drop-in replacement for liquid natural gas. And we've heard from a bunch of other companies and founders talking about the importance of clean fuels and replacements for existing fuels. Here, their technology is a novel methanation technique, and the decentralization factor is really the ability to co-locate with their customers, sell directly to people who, for whatever reason, have a source of waste CO2 or need natural gas and can convert it on site. The lesson for the business is that co-location is critical and enabled by their small modular technology. The cost structure of their fuel product benefits from their ability to eat into and play with some of the margin around transportation costs, storage costs, and volatility in liquid natural gas prices that their customers are dealing with now and would happily pay for General Galactic to solve those problems, as well as providing a clean source of fuel. I'll quickly touch on the materials side. So we're investors in a company called General Biological. If you haven't sensed a theme, we love generals, so feel free to send any more our way. It's a synbio company producing chemicals with a novel host. The tech advantage is that host breaks them out of the trap of precision fermentation, meaning they can use plastic tanks instead of steel, ferment at room temperature instead of high temperatures, and become much more modular, transportable, and energy effective. And so it's only because of these factors that they can reliably produce chemicals on site in mini mills at their customers. Between sanctions, security concerns, and supply chains, their customers are desperate for reliable chemical production with dependable cost structures. And so the lesson there is, again, with tech and decentralization, we can restore and renew the chemical supply chain here in the US. The last category I want to touch on quickly, which hasn't come up much today, but is a huge part of the physical world, is healthcare. And decentralizing the healthcare industry is a really interesting theme as well. So we're investors in a company called Vial, building a decentralized clinical trial infrastructure, which allows for trials to be run across the country, meeting patients where they are, enrolling people easily, and then using software to take as much of the intake, information gathering, and sort of administrative side of a trial, into a patient's home, into a phone, and out of a hospital system, reducing costs. So decentralization there allows for a better patient enrollment across demographics, which is a huge shortcoming of clinical trials as they're run today, running trials faster and cheaper, so getting drugs to market more quickly and hopefully generating better experiences and outcomes for patients. And the last one I'll touch on is a company called Molecule, which is in the DeSci space, so uniting the healthcare and crypto decentralization themes that we've talked about. They've pioneered a new idea called the IP NFT, which is a bounty for researchers who can collateralize and describe a particular type of research that they or any researcher globally would like to work against, allowing scientists from disparate institutions or grassroots scientists from no institution at all to work towards and coordinate towards these scientific goals, which they'll be able to get funding for and kind of have a bounty around the IP. So the tech there is a new incentive structure that enables cooperation and collaboration. And I think the lesson across all of these is just the right technology combined with this distributed sales or co-location or work across institutions can be an extremely powerful method for solving some of the biggest, most intractable challenges across, pharma, energy, and materials that we deal with today. So this is a bunch of what we're excited about at BoxGroup. If you're thinking about this, would love to hear it. And thanks so much for joining.